And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, a 60/40 production. I am Eric Halsey.
I am Alex Midway, and I see you sound like complete garbage, so the benefit of that is we didn't get the and a 60/40 production out the deal.
Yeah, I am a hurting puppy today, somewhere between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock last night. My everything inside my head congested and congealed, and now I have RFK voice for the past 24 hours, and I also want to do heroin now, so.
I mean, might as well give it a shot. We don't have that much left on this planet.
Let's experience what we can experience before we're too late.
So now that Debbie Downer's done warming everybody up, I do have some exciting news. We have started to put things up on YouTube's too, so like chlamydia, we're getting around. If you want to find us, JWSP Media, all one word, on YouTube. Currently, we're putting up little small snippets of each episode up there. YouTube wants me to do a few things on there that I'm not comfortable in doing, so for now, we're just doing shorts. So if you have any friends who happen to, whose mothers took Tylenol when they were pregnant with them, and they now have autism and very short attention span, JWSP Media, one word on YouTube.
Yep, cannot emphasize one word only. If you do it as two words, you end up looking at a bunch of space nerds. So, one word only.
Yeah.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
You want to look at political nerds, not space nerds. Where are the nerds you're looking for?
Yes, correct.
Speaking of nerds that you're not looking for, let's jump right into it. Tesla ticker, baby. 436, I believe, last time we talked on Thursday. And I was looking at it, and this thing popped all the way to about 470. And again, I want to tell you that today is the 7th of October, and we have long ended the $7,500 tax credit. Currently, it was at 441 in the morning, and then it actually came down to 433. So we are slightly lower than we were last time. So that's positive movement, I guess.
Again, as I was talking about this earlier, this makes no sense to me.
Yeah, especially when you take a look at it, because on Monday, the stock popped about 5%. And I'm like, wait, what the hell? What happened here? The Tesla account on Twitter just put up a rim, like a Tesla rim, spinning very quickly. And then you watch that for about 5 seconds, and then it says 10/7. Like, oh my God, this is magical. They put up a picture. And then the stock jumped up 5% just from them posting a little GIF.
And then I guess they're just going to do it again with 10.8?
Just every day they make Elon a trillionaire, like, till this thing stops working, but it keep going back to well. But apparently what happened here, it was supposed to be a teaser for them releasing prices for the Model Y, but poor variant, where they're going to drop a price on it because the EV tax credit went away. And then needed to essentially become competitive in the market. Honestly, I don't really get it. It's pretty competitively priced as is. And if after the EV tax credit went away, they're like, cool, we'll just knock off $7,500. We're still making buku profit. I think I'd be even more mad than I would, but I don't own a Tesla.
Yeah, and I don't plan on it. So if that's what gets your gears going, then good for you, buddy.
Yeah. So apparently a lot of the stock market had expected them to drop a price a lot more into like the 30s. The Model Y, the base one was, I think, at $46K. They did knock it down to 39 grand, like 550, so slightly under 40K. So they did come off a good amount, but apparently it wasn't low enough. So now they're going to be releasing a model with like roll 'em up windows and everything else like that. But it's not roll 'em up windows, but it's going to be less like mood lighting and everything else in there. And I don't know. But they're going to be releasing a lower priced one, but the price still went down because they didn't have the model unleashed right now.
And again, I mean, this thing I think is branded swastika for it forever. I just don't see how you come back from this.
Keep posting gifts, you big idiot.
Yeah, I guess. That's why he's a billionaire and I'm a hundredaire.
Yeah. That's why you're living paycheck to paycheck, and one guy's $500 billion.
Correct.
So let's move in right along on the topic of good things that happened. to kick off a Ukraine update. So we talked about last time about tomahawks and little tiny craters forming in Ukraine from a nuclear fallout. So let's first go ahead and talk about the tomahawks, because it didn't take too long to the talking heads down in Russia to start talking about them. And Dmitry Peskov came out, and he was both sides of a coin. He said if they were delivered, they wouldn't be a game changer. But he also said if they were delivered, it would cross a red line. So if you give up those weapons, it's not a game changer, but it would really change everything. And then
you got to hedge your position.
Yeah, you got to go from both sides of it. And Putin came up and followed it up. He said it would destroy any progress made in Moscow's relationship with the White House since the Alaska meeting. And I personally would like to know, what progress are they talking about again?
Yeah, didn't they end that with like, yeah, they're willing to stop this war if you just give them everything they asked for?
Yeah, it's always the same. It's what's it called? Now they're trying to deny all the drones flying all over Europe. They're like, they're just preposterous. You guys keep blaming us. Like, I mean, like, we found like Russian components inside each one of these, and it comes out of Russia. Like, we're not blaming you. Like, we all have radar now. So,
drone?
Yeah, if you thought the pushback from Putin and Peskov was bad, Medvedev, he used to be the former president or / placeholder for Putin when he took a couple years off. He came out and he said that such interference could result in a war with weapons of mass destruction. So now they're rattling the old nuclear saber again for the prospect of something that Peskov says wouldn't change anything, but Dmitry says that it's going to pretty much allow us to start shooting nukes at you.
Yeah, it seems like everything, literally anything coming out of either us or Europe is like, nope, that's a red line. That's a thin red line right there.
Everything's a red line. It has been for the longest times. I mean, HIMARS was a red line. Any kind of like the tanks were a red line. F-16s were a red line. Like, we've all crossed these stupid red lines plenty of times. It's like, this is what Russia does. They just keep saying everything's a red line. You can't do it. Like, cool. What about you importing troops from North Korea? Like, oh, that's normal. We're allowed to do that in a war.
Not red line.
Yeah, yellow line at best. But in case you're wondering, our fearless leader, Matako, went ahead and lived up to his acronym. And he answered, I would ask some questions. I'm not looking to escalate that war. When someone had asked him what's going on about selling tomahawks to European nations. And honestly, I get it. He's probably got those allocated with Pete for the violent uprising in Portland.
After he's too busy protecting the mean streets of Chicago.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, it's not real soy in their milk. That's the real violent crime going on out there. Like, shut up. Like, have you ever been to Portland? Like, yeah, there's homeless there, but they got their own little village. It's like, what's it called? What's the wire thing?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yeah, they got their own little Amsterdam. They're chilling out there. They're not bothering anybody.
Yeah, leave Portland alone. A good friend of ours went a year ago and called me. It was like, every single person here looks exactly like you.
Good luck with that facial recognition technology, Palantir.
Yeah. Evidently, just an entire city full of handsome dudes.
There's nothing but Abercrombie Fitch models in Portland?
No, real handsome dudes. Overweight, bald, giant beards.
Hashtag dad bods.
Yeah.
So let's continue on the other part that we left off. It's a little power plant that could in the Zaporozhye region. And it is still running on one single Soviet-era diesel generator, and that's the only thing that's stopping that site from being Chernobyl 2.0. So during the invasion, Russia went ahead. When they were invading everything, one of the things was to cut off the power, cut off the command and control, and by taking this nuclear power plant, their whole idea was, hey, we're going to cut the power, we're going to stop Ukraine from being able to use it for, I'm guessing, military things, but also for every little babushkas with a fridge, they would cut that power off as well. Well, that was the first part of a plan in a war that's supposed to take 3 days, but it's dragged on for a while longer. So now they're like, uh-oh, Ukraine's hitting a bunch of our power plants, so we kind of need this nuclear power. So what they've been doing is they've been trying to build power lines to connect this thing to the Russian grid or occupied Ukraine grid. And Ukraine's like, you do know we have drones, right? And they just keep knocking these things down every single day. But the downside is without power, it's tough to keep this thing from blowing up. And they're running on one diesel generator. So it's things are kind of sketchy down there.
While I hate the fumes with all of my heart, it is right. Diesel fumes is right up there with authoritarianism and abridging Christianity in our schools. I hate diesel fumes with all my heart. It is impossible to kill a diesel engine. They go forever.
First of all, buddy, you're thinking about a Imperial diesel engine. You guys had all kinds of regulations on your diesel engines. This is a Soviet diesel engine, and they started out with 6.
Yeah, it comes from tougher stock.
You thought your fumes were bad, little girly man?
I cannot imagine what that smell is over there.
So, in the meantime, what's it called? Putin is crying that Ukraine is trying to bomb a place and saying that shells are impacting next to there. And Greenpeace, which, I don't know, kind of cares about the environment and it has a little bit of a stake in a possible nuclear explosion, they went ahead and looked at the satellite images of the area. And after the times that Putin said there were strikes, they noticed that the power towers were in the same upright position, and there's no craters being left around where the lines are. So when you bomb something, it tends to leave little divots in the ground, and they're like, yeah, man, there's no brand new divots. He's like, you are lying. I am correct. So yeah, they're getting called out by Greenpeace, in case you're wondering how the war's going.
Yeah, right. That always, am I the a-hole? Like, it's starting to seem that way, Russia.
From having a Taliban denounce the war in Ukraine to having Greenpeace call you out for lying, like, I don't know how much worse it can get. But this is not to say that Russia's been sitting idly by. Russia's, they've been working. And so far, just earlier in this week, about 20 Russian drones went ahead and attacked infrastructure that provides power to the Chernobyl reactor. And I think we just went over what happens if a reactor stops getting electricity, it blows up. Well, in this case, this one would blow up twice.
Jeez.
So, it's something I found out. Do you have a general theory of how a nuclear power plant works?
Yeah, clearly.
I'll take the sarcasm there. So, I honestly never knew. It's actually steam powered. So, yeah. So they have these rods, they have these nuclear rods, and when they submerge them in water, that creates the steam that powers the turbine. And that's why all these nuclear power plants need so much water to cool it off. Because these nuclear rods being submerged in water, producing all the steam burns off. It turns a turbine, which is completely clean energy, so to speak, but you need a lot of water. Therefore, the electricity is needed.
So the opening of The Simpsons, where that rod bounces up and goes into the back of Homer's shirt.
He wouldn't be alive.
Impossible. Okay, fair enough. Learn something new.
Yeah. So these rods are extremely, they're actually, what's it called? The ones in Zaporozhye are upgraded new rods. They're actually produced by Westinghouse out in Pennsylvania. And they're American rods versus the Soviet rods, which are obviously in a Chernobyl reactor. The downside is it's kind of like a hot light bulb, but a really hot light bulb. It heats up, and even after you stopped working it, it needs a long time to cool down. So that's why we need to have all this water being pumped into it, hence the electricity, to keep the reaction cool instead of going a whole lot more nuclear, as an old president used to say.
Wow, that's interesting. I had no idea that's how nuclear reactors work.
Yeah, man. I always thought it's something nuclear, some nerd things going on, but I was like, oh, it's actually steam powered in the end.
It's a steam engine.
You know what? We're here to teach you people. In addition to possibly going after at least one, maybe even two nuclear power plants, Russia went ahead and hit the roof of a prenatal center in Sumy, causing it to catch fire. The head of a Ukrainian office, Andrei Yermak, said in the Post and Telegram that the babies, patients, and employees were evacuated to a bomb shelter before an attack. Nice try camouflaging all those tanks as pregnant mothers, Ukrainian Nazi scum.
You know, I thought we had jumped the shark when Christian Gnome was talking about murking her puppy, but actively going after a prenatal center seems pretty evil, man.
I mean, that's one way to stop a flow of troops. You just hit them before they're even born.
We just have to keep doing this for another 18 years, and then they'll just be out of people.
In case you're wondering about why Russia's not attending the peace talks, now you know.
Yikes. All right. Well, now that, you know, numerous nuclear reactors are potentially going to explode on us, I've got some good news for us, theoretically speaking. Looks like we're about to figure out just what them boys were doing, what them island boys were up to, because the newly elected Arizona 7th Congressional Rep, Adelita Gravalia, has confirmed she will be the final signature needed for that tush-push for the discharge position over the goal line. We're going to get them Epstein files. Theoretically. For those of you suffering from Republican fatigue syndrome, after playing keep away with the Epstein files and blocking a vote to release said files, a bipartisan petition was created to bypass the pedo protector extraordinaire Mike Johnson and force this bill onto the floor for a true vote. The petition needed some help across the aisle, with the unlikely trio of Boebert, Nancy Mace, and MTG joining up, and Adelita should give them that final vote they need to get it going.
I mean, theoretically, because
they
literally closed up shop, hopped in their cars, and went home instead of having to vote to begin with.
Yeah, you may remember Mike Johnson deciding to kick off summer a bit early by closing up shop just to not get a vote in.
Did you see what's it called? I sent you this thing. Trump getting asked by a reporter. He's like, "Hey, man, Ghislaine Maxwell. She just lost her appeal." He's like, "Who?" He's like, "Oh man, that is not a name I've ever heard or ever seen on an island with another person. Like, that is brand new to me." Like, he is working overtime. He's like, "Ghislaine Maxwell, like, dude, you just gave her an actual work release program not even a month ago."
Yeah, you remember that chick you bumped down from federal to club fed?
Like, ooh, I don't remember that name. I don't think I've ever met a Gilly? Like, no. I've never met anyone whose name started with a G. I don't even know a George.
Yeah, slim pickings up here. I'm drawing a blank. Can't talk about it. Next question, please.
Yeah. So in case you're wondering how hard they're willing to just block these Epstein files, that should tell you something.
Just keep gaslighting. As long as you never admit to the lie and you just keep going with it, eventually people just think you're demented and you get away with it.
Wow.
So here's the issue with our girl Adelita. She has to be officially sworn in to sign to be the final name in this discharge petition. But wouldn't you know it, Micro MAGA Mike Johnson just couldn't get around to it before shutting down Congress. When asked about the delay on swearing in the new congressional rep and if it had any ties to the Epstein file release, he called the coincidence a red herring, then immediately changed the subject to Republicans working around the clock to fix healthcare, despite only working 14 days since effing July.
I mean, they also get, what's it called? Lifetime healthcare as well. So we're in the wrong here for not being a part of a mass, and we're outside looking in. But did we ever get an update on his Grindr profile? Because we're past Wednesday.
The guy popped in on Tuesday, or no, I think it was Wednesday, and was like, "Hey guys, I'm getting threats from all over the place." and basically it fizzled out.
All right, because
He did one
apparently,
of those like I'm not on any drugs. I am not drinking. I have sent numerous, to different New York Times and New York Post and all that stuff. Like he did that whole "if I died, this is gonna go," but yeah, nothing really came of it.
yeah, apparently, like on Reddit, they're saying that it was just a complete lie. But yeah, yeah, I don't think it was real. So, huh. Hey, listen, it's a Republican senator, and I'm sure something horrible is going to come out with him because these guys can't live a clean life.
I mean, yes, there's no proof, but I would go out on a limb and say Mike Johnson is almost as straight as Lindsey Graham.
Real alphas.
Yeah, giant alpha.
So, you got anything more on that one?
Yes. Yeah, sorry. Tinfoil hat time. I believe once our girl Adelita does get sworn in, eventually when they get around to it, I'm banking on Nancy Mace backing out at the last second and this thing failing.
Do you think Trump's talked to the McMahons about writing a script as far as like how to do hero and like villain arches in like the storyline to get the most amount of people to tune in?
Why would they need to? He's already convinced half the country he's the hero. Why would you want any other input?
Yeah, but every now and then, like you'll have Nancy Mace and MTG and Bobert go over to the good side, and then next thing you know, they're like Sting coming down from the rafters, just punching Hakeem Jeffries in the mouth, like plot twist.
No, I don't think honestly, I don't think he needs the help. He's convinced half the people he's a super stable genius and here for the working man, despite not having anything to show for it ever over the past 15 years, you morons.
I'm sorry, he just stopped 17 wars and saved 2 trillion Americans from fentanyl just this hour alone.
Yeah, and all it cost you was your family farm.
It might also cost you a little bit more, but let's get into that one right now because out of the villain arc, we might have someone going from chaotic evil to neutral evil as MTG broke ranks and called for the extension of the Obamacare subsidies. And her exact words are, let's just say as nicely as possible, I'm not a fan. But I'm going to go against everyone on this issue because when those tax credits expire this year, my own adult children's insurance premiums for 2026 are going to double, along with the wonderful families and hardworking people in my district. So this is what the actual Democrats are fighting for. Like, these tax credits help all of us poors, and if we can send $20 billion to Argentina, we can give the actual trillionaires in this country a bailout for a couple more trillion. How about we not pay more for our health insurance?
Yeah, or, even if we're not going to fix the problem, because I think the horse is out of the barn, there is no fixing healthcare. At least with Biden, he was like, we won't let it wreck your, medical debt doesn't touch your credit score. At least that was great. I'll default on everything. Who cares?
Yeah, but then you saw he was on a bicycle and he fell down. So, he didn't really have our best interest.
He sniffed that lady's hair once.
Yeah.
Better go with Trump.
One guy's on a flight logs, and the other one's just a very, touchy-feely old man. And touchy-feeling in the way, wherever's originals in your pocket, tussle your hair type of touchy-feeling. Not like, I flew down and met my girl Gillis Sladen Maxwell on an island, but now for some reason I have dementia and can't remember her.
Yeah, not banging 12-year-old massage therapist that somehow work at a hotel that you own, even though kids that young can't work.
Wow.
But also, it's all a hoax.
So, going back to Margie real quick, she did go back into the well to make sure that she appeased her base, and she assured him that she's not dyeing her hair purple, and continued on. I'm a Republican and won't vote for illegals to have any taxpayer-funded healthcare benefits. I'm America only. I mean, first of all, I didn't see her breaking ranks with the Donald on my bingo card. And second of all, like, can we stop blaming the immigrants for all of your own personal problems? Like, just because some dude wakes up at 6 a.m., goes to a roofing job, and then is able to buy things while you wake up casually at 9 a.m. hungover, doesn't mean the other guy's responsible for all your shortcomings.
See, the problem is, though, like I get your rationale, and here's where you're wrong.
Excellent.
If I can't easily blame someone else, I might have to look in the mirror and something might be my fault, and I might have to take like an inventory about that. And I'm frankly not prepared for any of that yet. So I would much rather blame trans people. Oh, no, hold on, never mind. We're on immigrants right now. Yeah, this is Mexico's fault.
So you're telling me you need to take a mental health day in case that happened, and then next thing you know, you'd be a liberal? So it's a slippery slope?
Exactly. Yeah, if I'm the problem, then I'm going to have to like take time and think about it, and then it might change all these things I've made my personality. And frankly, who has time for that when Mexico's right there?
It'd be really weird introducing yourself to people like, my name is Eagle Thundersome. My pronouns are they, them. Like, wait, what? Taking a lot of me time lately. Like, I found out the Mexicans are our issue.
Yeah. I was thinking about how maybe, just maybe, people shouldn't die because they were born on a different side of an imaginary line that doesn't really exist. And, yeah, now I have a septum piercing.
Like, we literally came to this country and stole land from people. Now we're like, you can't be here. We've been here all along. Like, no, you weren't.
Yeah, I do love every like, once a year, something goes viral where someone's screaming at Native Americans, like, go back to your country. And you're like, oh.
Going back to the healthcare issue, one thing is House Speaker Mike Johnson, fan favorite, and Senate Majority Leader John Toon have insisted that the healthcare funding issue will not be discussed until the Democrats on their personal stance and reopen the government. And that's kind of like your big brother telling you, like, hey man, why don't you just put the bat down real quick and we'll talk about it. I'm going to forget about the time that you smashed one of my toes, and we're going to have a civil conversation after you put down any leverage that you possibly might.
Honestly, it's exactly like Ukraine negotiating with Russia. They're like, why don't you just agree to all of this and then we'll talk about it later? You're like, no, I know you. This isn't how it works.
The fact that they pitched, like, yeah, for us to have a ceasefire, just we're gonna need all the offensive weaponry brought over, and then we can talk about long-term security protocols.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, this is their shutdown, and they're owning it, so it's whatever. Screw it. Blame whoever you want to blame.
So let's go back, and we have our own problems here. So sometimes people want to take a little bit of a break and go travel. You're not a big traveling man, are you? Especially out of the country.
I've gotten better with it over the years.
Okay.
Not like you, but, I'm not opposed to it.
Hey, man, you're on the upswing. We all have our highs and lows, but for any one of us who's traveled a bunch of places, and I'll go ahead and just fill everybody in case you haven't, and you're kind of keeping America because this is the greatest country ever. From time to time, things get weird over the rest of the world. And the State Department will go ahead and release a memo, be like, hey, man, maybe you don't wear the Abraham Lincoln punching a T-Rex T-shirt when you're trip to Mogadishu. And that right there is a little alert for if you go to a small country in Africa. This time, the Department of State issued a worldwide caution alert. So essentially a blanket statement that if you got your USA We the People fanny pack and you go anywhere, people might not like you.
People might not like you here in the States for doing that.
Yeah, your Trump 2028 hat isn't going over nearly as well as you'd imagine it.
You know what? Sometimes, you know what? They go out of the country. You get spit on by actual real immigrants not here working. Give you a little taste of, maybe it'll make you appreciate what you have back at home.
Do you know why they said people might hate us all over the world?
I've got a couple theories working.
We've been joking about this one real hard back offline, so take a couple guesses, and then I'll read you what the U.S. Department of State actually said.
I thought you said we're not supposed to talk about the group chat offline.
Well, we can't mention the people who run the media, so that's another thing that's out of here. But the reason this alert was actually put out, and this is verbatim, the conflict between Israel and Iran has resulted in disruptions to travel and periodic closure of airspace across the Middle East. I don't remember airspace being closed in the Middle East other than when Bibi flew over to the United States, but hey, maybe Gaza has a couple F-15 bombing Israel. No, they don't, so we never closed it, but yeah, continue. There's potential for demonstrations against U.S. citizen in interest abroad. Like, what the F did we do? You guys are the ones sending over missiles. They should just hate you. Department of State advises U.S. citizens worldwide to exercise extreme caution. Read carefully, travel advisory, yada, yada, yada. So, essentially, the fact that Israel is pounding Gaza into the sand and we keep sending them more and more missiles to keep doing it, that's why the world hates us.
Well, there's a handful of other reasons the world hates us, but let's go with this one.
It's because they're all anti-Semites.
Yeah, I read something where they say, over the weekend, there was essential a European shutdown. All of Italy just stopped in protest of the flotilla getting yoked up. And I can't find a whole lot of information about it. I feel like we're the only ones who are just no, Israel's right. You guys are wrong.
If you take a look at the map of people who have recognized a Palestinian state, there's the very small gray areas that are not included. It's us. In a few other places, and what's it called? I think it's over a weekend. Last time we talked, we were getting ready to do negotiations. I think Trump said 2 to 3 days is what I give Hamas before things get really bad. And surprise, nothing's happened yet. Didn't see that one coming. But Israel went ahead and they said, hey, man, we're just going to go ahead and say that anyone who's still in Gaza City is now classified a terrorist. You can't do that.
How pissed is Trump? That's what we're trying to do with Portland. They get all the nice things over there.
You think he's just going to import everyone from the Gaza Strip to Portland and be like, all right, Israel, do your thing?
You know what? That's actually not a terrible idea for him.
The BB Construction Company. He's like, all right, well, you guys keep fueling us.
People of Portland just opening with welcome arms because they're all sweethearts who love shawarma.
They're not here to eat our cats and dogs.
Yeah. All right. So we need a palate cleanser. We're trying to end on happy notes. Remember, try to make it a thing. Drats, it's going to happen again. Maybe next week. Speaking of Christians and their moral compass, Texas megachurch founder and former Trump spiritual advisor Robert Morris pled guilty on Thursday to sexually abusing a girl back in 1982. The victim, Cindy Clemshire, said the abuse started in 1982 when she was only 12 years old and went on for roughly 4 to 5 years.
Do you think that he's going to pardon him and Maxwell at the same time?
Well, pin in that, he might not need to.
Oh! Well, he was out there diddling kids. This guy's going away for a minute.
So, the fallout of the allegations forced Morris to resign from his leadership in his own megachurch, as well as a handful of church elders, had to look it up, that's a thing, who knew about the abuse but failed to act. They also paid out a cool $270,000 to the family of the abused, Because the Bible is super clear on how much it costs to rape a kid.
All right. So, have you had a chance to take a look at this Gateway Church?
Yes.
It is bigger than most people's high schools.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
The fact that they settled for $270K, and the lawyers probably made off of 200 of that, and the tax man another 30 of that, like, that is wild to me. But have you been to the Gateway Church website?
I have not.
So, first of all, the man was touching kids at 700 Blessed Way in South Lake, Texas. So that's the irony right there. And if you go to their website, the first page is just like a picture of a church. Again, I didn't see the words Gateway Church at the top. I think this is a high school. If you go to page 2, it's a top-down map view. Hold on, I gotta send this to you. You gotta take a look at this one. And all right. So take a look at that. And the second page on there is a top-down view in case you want to, kind of like Google Maps, like Earth view. And it says auditorium, it says west entrance, east entrance, main entrance. And right above that, and it's highlighted, is the kids check-in and the kids entrance. Like, we're really highlighting that one hard.
Yeah, what a bunch of monsters. Oh, yikes.
Like, there's a main entrance, and they're like, hey, by the way, the kids coming from here, so you don't see them.
This is gross. So
Jesus.
now that Morris has paid his debt to the Lord above, it's time for that mofo to pay the piper here on our mortal plane, right? So, the court case took place in Oklahoma, the reddest of the reddest states, so it's obviously fire and brimstone time, baby! And any guesses on his sentence?
I do not like where this is going.
Anytime you hear the coach beard, bebe, things are about to go down. He was given a 10-year suspended sentence and will serve 6 whole months in a county jail.
Now, is it at least like the meanest of the meanest jails?
I know county jails are not hardcore prison. That's generally like he's got 6 months in a drunk tank.
Our boy's got work lease on the weekends too, doesn't he?
Because nothing says protect the children and tough on crime like giving a rich pedophile a slap on the wrist for banging a 7th grader. These freaking monsters. Now, hopefully, I've overestimated how fun county jail is, and there's still a couple of Adabeses just hanging around there with their little caps on the side of their head, just ready to do the real Lord's work.
Yeah, from what I understand, the kid diddlers aren't exactly looked upon, and especially like the wife beaters as well. There's a little bit of jail justice, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I was always told growing up that, you know, if you hurt children and end up in jail, like, you're just beaten and raped till eventually you die, like the Old Testament says.
Now they put you in a political position at the top, like, lead us, man.
Yeah, now Kid Rock welcomes you to your new role within the government.
Oh, you elect the clown, expect a circus, I guess.
I guess. Let's just burn this circus down.
Well, we'll see everybody next week. It's let's see what happens to Ben, and I'm Alex Midway.
I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.